Welcome to ESPN's coverage of Champ Week. And for the first time in 4 years, the Southland Conference will send a team not named Stephen F. Austin to the NCAA tournament. We got the top 2 seeds here in Katy with New Orleans going up against Texas A&M, Corpus Christi. Hello, everybody. Lowell Galindo with the former NBA GM Lance Blanks. Your job was to identify star talent in the league, right? Easy on a night like this after an extremely close race for Player of the Year with Aaron Thomas of New Orleans barely edging out Rashawn Thomas of Corpus.
Yeah, maybe even needing a recount. The two.
You going there?
Yeah, I'm going there because these two Thomases are neck and neck. Rashawn there is very special for this Islander team. He can get it done on multiple spots on the floor as well as on the defensive end. Look for him to lead this team both offensively and defensively tonight. And look at that smile. He's ready to play, Lowell. And then on the other side, you've got another Thomas in Eric. He does it efficiently, doesn't need a lot of shots, doesn't need the ball in his hands all the time, but his teammates will feed him all night long because they know he's the best player on their team and they need his production to get it done.
We have Amin, also first team All Southland Conference. Privateers from New Orleans in white. Islanders from A&M Corpus Christi in blue. And are you ready for the random stat of the night? Corpus Christi 8-0 when winning the opening tip. The Privateers got possession.
Job. Hey, it's March Madness, and you're going deep with those stats. But I tell you what, everything and every inch counts in a game like tonight, Lowell.
Kristavius Gill puts up the opening three-point shot. That's something that New Orleans doesn't do a lot when it comes to style of play. They're kind of old school. They like to ground and pound and work inside out.
Yeah, and what they do is they play an old Utah, for those NBA fans out there, Utah style or UCLA system where they try to pound it inside. They're very good in half-court offense and love to execute near the rim.
Trayvon Thibodeau, number 25 in white, leads the team in assists, can finish as well, but there is the guy that feels he should have been the Player of the Year, Rashawn Thomas with a rejection. Open look for the guy that is the Player of the Year, and the flush from Eric Thomas.
Big deal, and you get a great block by Thomas, and then you make the errant pass on the fast break. To be critical to take care of the ball tonight, you don't want to give away too many easy looks, especially in a championship level game.
A lot of turnovers the first time these two teams played on New Year's Eve. It was a one-point win by New Orleans in overtime, so buckle up. Gill leaving it inside, and a nice lefty finish from McCord Poe.
Yeah, and the reason that pass was so easy is Gill got no pressure. He could just throw it right over the defense even though Poe was being fronted. You've got a pressure on the perimeter because New Orleans is looking to get the ball into the paint. You don't want to give up those easy looks from a passing standpoint.
And the Islanders can't afford this. Another turnover. Privateers the other way. That's off the glass. And that's going to be a 6-zip lead for the Privateers. Credit Tevin Broyles for that one. Willis Wilson, 6th season as a head coach of the Islanders. 21 years as a head coach, on the cusp of going to the NCAA tournament for the first time as a D1 head coach.
And Coach Wilson has done, a phenomenal job with this program at Texas A&M Corpus Christi. He spent most of his life in the Houston area, of course, coached at Rice, went to school there as an assistant, and also was a head coach there. But just a great coach and probably a better person.
Tevin Broyles from way downtown does not get that to go. Amin putting the pressure on, and the kick out rolls out for Kareem South. South with the lone bucket for the Islanders, the 2 seed here in the Southwest Conference Championship. Islanders trying to get in for the first time since 2007. That was under Ronnie Arrow. For New Orleans, got to go way back to 1996. last time they were in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, and the boards is a key area.
Shot clock. Gill.
For this New Orleans team, they have the size advantage. Texas A&M Corpus Christi will have to gain rebound and keep that length off the boards. You don't want to give too many easy looks on second chance opportunities.
Joseph Kilgore, the pull-up. We're watching the top two shooting teams in the Southland Conference. New Orleans #1 at 47.2. A&M Corpus Christi at #2.
And you mentioned Kilgore with the shot there. This team goes at his pace, using Coach Wilson's words. He's also a major key to how things get done for Texas A&M Corpus Christi because of his efficiency on the offensive end.
South sidestepping through the paint, and a good start for the redshirt freshman from Toronto.
Well, what you love about this game is both teams and coaches believe that they're supposed to win this game. It's not an upset either way. You have 1 and 2 going against each other. In the first game, it was a 1-point game that went into overtime. And so both teams are well coached, well prepared, and have done a great job of putting themselves in this position.
Here's the move from Kareem. South gets it to drop. This is what you want. Tight game to start with the turning spot on the line. Knotted up at 6.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by T-Mobile. Switch to the network built for unlimited data.
This is the Southland Conference Championship game. New Orleans and Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Lord Galindo here with Lance Blanks. This is a frenetic early pace. Considering A&M Corpus Christi, they don't have the depth that the Privateers from New Orleans have. What do you think it means for them in the long run of this game?
I think it's just a case of early game jitters, if you will, and energy. This is a championship game. The winner of this gets into the tournament, so they are figuratively playing for their life, if you will, Lo. But let's look back to last night. I mean, for Texas A&M Corpus Christi, of the 200 minutes available, 6 guys played 183 of those. So they are used to playing a short roster, a lot of minutes.
Yeah.
So look for Kilgore to control tempo, control pace for this ball club tonight, so that they do not have to exert too much energy and not have anything left at the finish line.
Had a look at Mark Schlesinger, Southland Conference Coach of the Year, 6th year at New Orleans. Told us it was a roll of the dice when he took the job at New Orleans, because he didn't know if he was going to be playing on the D2 level with this program or the D1 level. We'll have a lot more on what is such a unique storyline for the Privateers to be at this point on the cusp of their first NCAA tournament appearance since 1996.
And you talk about Coach, I mean, his vibe, his essence of him. Yeah, he's loose, and he's a guy's kind of guy. You just want to hang out and talk to him. He has absolutely no ego, and his team and roster embodies everything that he's about. I love his point that he made about, in terms of his spirit and their spirit makes up for the lack of budget that they have at New Orleans.
$5 million athletic budget, the smallest budget in all of the Southland Conference. And right there we saw New Orleans and Michael Zeno try to jump that pass. Did not get that steal, but it comes up. Privateers basketball. Nate Fry now, star off the bench, #3 for New Orleans. And he was the man of the match when they beat A&M Corpus Christi in overtime at 27 points, a career high. That pass knocked away from Joseph Kilgore. The push up to Amin. And we're going the other way. Thibodeau rejected by Kilgore. And the follow goes down.
Boy, there have been some impressive blocks tonight. But so far, a poor job of capitalizing with these impressive defensive plays at the rim. You've got to value the ball, especially in this environment.
And there's the throwdown flush from Perry Francois, the freshman from North Miami.
And there's Kilgore also with the kind of pace that we were talking about a moment ago in terms of coming off that pick. getting into the teeth of the defense in the lane and making the nice pass for the finish.
Thibodeau throws it away, but it goes right back to Michael Zeno, as Rashawn Thomas was all over that, but the save went straight into the hands of New Orleans. And there is the dunk from Francois, set up by Kilgore.
Yeah, you see when Kilgore came off, a lot of young players will come off of that screen a little wild and not be at a pace where they can make good decisions. There, Kilgore got into the paint, forced the defense to react, and opened up the lane for the nice dish and the finish.
Zeno cannot get the roll. New Orleans, a very good free throw shooting team. Champ Week continues on ESPN Sunday with 2 more championship games. 1 Eastern SEC title game between Arkansas and Kentucky going down from Nashville. Big Blue well represented there. Then at 3:15 Eastern, final automatic tourney ticket will be punched by the winner of the Frontier Communications American Championship game, Cincinnati and SMU. A split at the line by Zeno. 10-point lead for the Privateers.
Look at this, they're gonna go back to the screen and roll with Kilgore at the top, making those decisions. And there again, finding a Martinez.
That's the X factor.
Yeah, Martinez can shoot with the best of them. They've had trouble consistently getting him minutes during the season, but yesterday he was the difference. Those long threes, and there again, Kilgore making a key pass to Martinez. You've got to find him on the perimeter, but because he can shoot with consistency and with deep range, which will be yet another key to this game.
48% from three-point range. Top outside shooter for the Islanders, coming off a 16-point performance in that win against Stephen F. Austin. 4 of 6 from three-point range. Now on the other side, New Orleans now, 5 three-point attempts. This is not what they do. This is more their MO. Zeno, oh my goodness, was trying to rip down the rim. Whoa!
You got to get up a little higher than that. But
I think he had the height.
I love the aggression. I love the aggression for the finish.
That was about to be played everywhere. Sports Center top 10 #1.
Well, look at those big mitts.
Oh. And he felt good on the way up, you know that.
Yeah, you just knew he would be able to finish. Again, I'm seeing a trend here in this game, though, with some missed easy finishes like the one there, and then, of course, some turnovers. A bit much would be the case for my comfort level if I were coaching in a game like a championship caliber game.
Look how Eric Thomas just slows it down, so patient, plays at a different pace than everybody out on the court.
Yeah, he does. He's very efficient, takes what you give him, and he doesn't force anything off on the offensive end.
No surprise he led the Southland, shooting 60% from the field. Rashawn Thomas, no.
I mean, that shooting percentage is just unheard of for a perimeter player, but it's because he's not forcing anything. He's taking what's given to him.
Jake Coher, number 12 in the blue, the energy guy, the glue guy for this Islanders team, out there checking Nate Fry. Inside feed, and there is another turnover as Thomas was looking for Zeno. So for as good as New Orleans is spreading the rock, spreading their sugar, they have issues. Hold on to the basketball.
Yeah, I mean, the turnovers here tonight, a lot of unforced turnovers. Zeno had the one a moment ago, then a missed dunk. We just had another one. It's a surprise to me that we have so many unforced errors, if you will. It sounds like a tennis match here early in a game of this caliber with two teams that are this good. On one hand, New Orleans, it's a little bit predictable because you have so many wings and bigger players handling the ball. On the other hand, Texas A&M Corpus Christi, not as excusable because they have the ball more so in the traditional situations with your point guards and your off guards handling the ball most of the time, with the exception of that young man there, Thomas.
Thomas knocks both of them down. Back-to-back years now on the All-Southland Conference first team. You know there's got to be a chip on the shoulder, though, heading into this matchup tonight because his number is awfully good. One of the best in the Southland. He felt like he had a case to be the Conference Player of the Year. Early on, the Islanders living the Island way. Up by 1 over the Privateers.
Second half, and I'm trying to make a comeback. About to make history, how we done that?
On the way, they rope down the 1 seed. Oh my goodness.
I mean, Lance Blanks, come on. It's CNC Music Factory and the NCAA tournament. Does it get better than that?
No, arguably this is the best time of the year for sports.
Hey, first time these two teams played. Overtime, New Orleans wins by 1. You see the stars, Rashawn Thomas, Eric Thomas. Nate Fry, though, was the guy. 27 points, a career high. 6 of them in overtime off the bench for New Orleans to get that win. A lot of turnovers in that game. New Orleans won despite having 25 turnovers as A&M Corpus Christi had 19 steals in the game.
Yeah, an unlikely hero. And the irony is neither one of these teams go very deep, especially Texas A&M Corpus Christi. But Fry certainly came up as the unlikely hero and was a strongly contested game on either side.
Martinez, the San Antonio native. He's got 2 3-ball makes.
Coaches love to execute out of timeouts, and coaches on the defensive side hate to be executed on. So hats off to Coach Wilson there for drawing up a play to get Martinez that kind of look. And now it looks like Texas A&M has gone to a zone, which is going to force New Orleans to play on their Achilles heel or to their Achilles heel and take jump shots. Just something they don't do very well in terms of executing.
But something the Privateers expected to see from A&M Corpus Christi.
Yeah, and they did. And to counter that, they talked about running offense, man-to-man offense, which is what a lot of coaches do. Whenever a team plays a zone, you don't have to adjust. You can still run man offense and force the defense to adjust to you.
Ehab Amin just ran into the teeth of the New Orleans defense there. Thibodeau, skip pass. Back to Broyles. Too strong. Cohen with the rebound.
Yeah, and Corey, I think you've got to close out short to guys here when you're in this zone and gang rebound, because New Orleans typically wins the rebound battle.
And another turnover. Kareem South trying to shake off Trayvon Thibodeau. Did not work.
Boy, and those are big minutes. Getting Thomas some rest. You know, he's going to be on the floor most of the night. So anytime you can get your best players rest, and you see both Thomases coming back on the floor.
It's the chess match.
There you go. You took the words right out of my mouth.
I'm sorry about that.
No problem. Steals are happening on the floor. They can happen over here too.
Yeah, speaking of, A&M Corpus Christi, 6 turnovers so far. Oh,
that was Hollywood.
Fry, you're calling out Fry for the acting job?
Fry plays well against this team. Watch here on the
He got
replay.
flattened.
Thomas is set. He's set. He got there quick. And watch the head snap. He snaps the head.
That's 6'8", 230.
An official
on 6'4", 215.
buys it.
You're calling the guy an actor.
That's exactly what you've got to do.
He got steamrolled.
Yes, he did. No, if you get set, you're set. And so it's not his fault that Fry decided to put his head on one of those arms.
Big foul as Ehab Amin picks up number 2. Talking about the second leading scorer for the Islanders, who was second in D1 basketball in steals per game. Really is a two-man show with supporting parts for this Islanders team with Rashawn Thomas and Ehab Amin.
Yeah, and Ehab, he is as aggressive as they get. And South and Kilgore, what they do is temper his aggression. And they temper it by playing at a pace that's not on the edge. I mean, he plays on the edge at both ends of the floor, which is why he's one of the best, if not the best, steals guy in the country.
Eric Thomas just picked up foul number 1. Rashawn Thomas, another screen, set on Fry. Kilgore, the turnaround, high off the glass, rebound pulled down by Eric Thomas.
Yeah, and their half-court offense is pretty predictable at this point. Texas A&M, Corpus Christi is staying with the high pick-and-roll action with Kilgore having the ball in his hand.
Nice feed to Poe, but Poe cannot finish. Gill tries to take it away. Kilgore to South. It's short. Privateers off and running. Spin and dish. And a mad scramble. Thomas was calling for the timeout, but it's going to be a held ball.
On that last possession, Francois did a great job of contesting the finish by Poe, and Poe missed the layup. It's not something that'll show up in the box score, but it also shows multiple effort defense where you can't give up on the play, especially around the rim. And even though Poe had the length advantage, just the extra leaping and reaching is what caused that missed layup.
So Francois does his job, checks out of the game with Elijah Schmidt coming in. So early on, we're seeing Willis Wilson really try to use some of that depth. They don't have a lot, but he's looking for minutes here and there to counter some of that size that New Orleans has. And as Wilson put it, you know, they got to go up against a Privateers team that does not have great size when you consider what that would mean for other power conferences. But in terms of the Southland Conference, Privateers have good size in the post.
Yeah, they do, especially for this conference, as you mentioned. There's it right there with Poe guarding Thomas. You see he didn't just raise up right over him. That's because of Poe's length. Look at those arms. I mean, you got to deal with that and try to get a shot off. Not easy.
Kilgore.
But that man can get it off easy. He is the key. Coach Wilson said it before the game. They love the ball in Kilgore's hands, and he's able to find spots and shoot over people. He's excellent in the mid-court range.
7-0 run as Thomas looks to Poe. Baseline, but Rashawn Thomas all over him. Great feed from Eric Thomas to Nate Fry.
Yeah, it looked like South there lost his man. Just an excellent backdoor cut. Found Fry right under the basket. You've got to move without the ball offensively and defensively. You've got to see both the man and the ball.
Seems like it's tough to speed up Eric Thomas. Rashawn, step back, drops it in the face of Poe.
Textbook defense, better offense, and that's why this young man had a close race for best player in the conference. He's so good and can get it done from just about any area of the floor.
The Stars showing out. Backdoor cut, Thomas blocked by Schmidt. Second effort is there. And you can see Eric Thomas starting to try to take control of this game.
They got a mismatch. They got to identify it.
Pose doesn't have his shoe.
They got numbers.
And instead, Rashawn Thomas throws it away. Nate Fry, transition. Does not get the roll. And it's off of New Orleans.
Boy, look at Kilgore. He can get it done off the dribble. Uses his length to shoot over Fry. And what does New Orleans want to do? They want to get stuff at the rim. Boy, we've got a close one. A&M 20.
championship activity, not just here in the Southland, but at 1 Eastern, SEC title game, Arkansas and Kentucky. Lance, who do you got?
Woo! I'm going with Arkansas.
Then at 3:15 Eastern, the final automatic tournament berth is going to be plunged by the winner of the Frontier Communications American Championship game, Cincinnati and SMU. That Sunday, 3:15 Eastern on ESPN. I'm sure you love this time of year, Lance.
I do. I'm going with my main man, Mike Anderson.
Yeah?
Who has done a nice job at Arkansas.
What do you think about the early flow of this game? 6 minutes to the half, Corpus Christi up by 4.
A lot of this was predictable in terms of how teams would try to play. I really think in this environment, as Martinez knocks the shot down, the advantage goes, in my opinion, to Texas A&M, Corpus Christi, because of their perimeter abilities. I mean, as you see there, Thomas has to force something near the rim. Martinez with his third three. They're now 3 for 7 with range. And in a championship type game, when you have the advantage on the perimeter, you can control the game. What a block!
Kilgore, as Thibodeau tried to go reverse.
You see right now, A&M Corpus Christi is controlling the game through that young man right there, Kilgore.
And there he is. Kilgore gets the follow as Thomas initially lost the handle. Right place, right time.
Yeah, and he's the equation that New Orleans is going to have to solve. And then you see they're switching up defense. Defense is now they're in the man, not giving New Orleans a steady diet defensively.
Still cannot get that answer from 3. And another held ball. New Orleans ball this time. I can't sum up just how unlikely these 3-point shots are for New Orleans. We'll get there in just a moment, but check out that block from Kilgore.
I mean, that's just extra effort, helping your teammate. I mean, what a big-time play. Takes his time and just shoots right over top of the defense. New Orleans doesn't solve the situation with this young man Kilgore. It could turn into a long night soon.
It's a 14-4 run for the Islanders. Turnover by Thomas. Talking about the 3-point shot here, you got New Orleans 0 for 7. They get 18% of their points from 3-point range. Only Cal State Northridge and Evansville relied less on the 3-point shot than the New Orleans Privateers. Why are we seeing so many of them?
Well, they're getting open looks mainly because of that young man Kilgore. He has the ball in his hands. He's controlling the pace, and the defense is having to break down when he gets in the paint, and he's finding people, namely Martinez.
Martinez has been the X factor in this game, much in the same way that Nate Fry was in the overtime win for New Orleans back on December 31st. Thomas pulling up over Zeno, and Thomas will draw the foul.
And I mean, we talked about it at the start of the game that these teams are so evenly matched in terms of personnel, ability, coach. I mean, even that first game, the 1-point game, I think in some ways a little bit of a psychological advantage can go to Texas A&M Corpus Christi, because when you lose like that in overtime game, you want to get back and play and win that game. And then you talked about Thomas getting second, you know, in the voting for the MVP of the conference. So there are a lot of things for the bulletin board for this Texas A&M Corpus Christi team to come into this game with.
No doubt about it. They are hot right now. January 25th, they beat Lamar in overtime. Since that win, the Islanders have won 10 of 11, coming by the average of 12 points. Rebound put back Thibodeau as they try to stop this Islanders run.
Yeah, and that's emblematic of what they do. They really push the issue about getting to the rim. You've got to find bodies and keep them off the boards. You don't want to give up offensive rebounds to this New Orleans team.
Really big storyline here between the stars. Who's getting more help? right now. Rashawn Thomas getting more help because of that man, Cole Martinez. 3 of 3 from three-point range, and it's a 26-18 lead for his Islanders. Here's what's going down in Katy, Texas. It is the Islanders from A&M Corpus Christi trying to get to the tournament for the first time since 2007. The guy that's helping them get there, Joseph Kilgore.
Boy, he's carrying this team in so many ways. Look at that special block at the rim. But look at the pace that he's playing with, forcing the defense to help. And guess what? If no defense comes, he's going to shoot it right over you. Fry. He is the man of the hour right now. The stars in the house are the double Thomases, but Kilgore is back home getting it done thus far tonight.
He's from H-Town.
Yes, he is.
We're on the outskirts.
That's right.
Here in Katy, Texas.
Home of Hakeem Olajuwon.
Oh, the dream shake. Hey, man, I'm a Spurs fan. D-Rob back in the day. You can't bring up Hakeem Olajuwon. What are you trying to do to me?
Hey, I'm a Hakeem fan.
Rashawn Thomas staying hot.
And Thomas, that's what makes him so special. That 12 to 16-foot range is almost automatic for him. And then, of course, Kilgore knowing where to put the ball on time, on target, Lowell, just like you, my man.
I don't know about that. I just try to look good. And the Privateers still cannot get that outside shot to go. A traveling call. And it's back in the way of the Islanders. 3:15 left to play in the first half. Corpus Christi up by 10. Sports Center with Scott Van Pelt kicks off Selection Sunday coverage at 5:15 on ESPN with the reveal of the NCAA men's field of 68 as the teams are announced. Then at 7 Eastern, Bracketology presented by Allstate with Reese, Jay Williams, Jay Billis, Seth Greenberg, Dickie B, and the college hoop experts breaking down each region, both also streaming live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN. Privateers from New Orleans trying to set up Traven Thibodeau to cut into this lead with 3:13 left. They are an unlikely story for so many reasons. Most of that dates back to Hurricane Katrina in 2005. That hit. The population in New Orleans dropped. Enrollment dropped at New Orleans. Funding dropped at UNO. Then in 2009, the university announced they were exploring a move down from D1 to non-scholarship D3. No student athletes were allowed to sign a letter of intent. But this man, Peter J. Foss, a New Orleans alum, stepped in, and when it looked like New Orleans would drop to D3 or D2, he said, "Stop the nonsense. We're staying at D1." He had a huge, pivotal role in making sure New Orleans retained their D1 eligibility, and now here they are, needing a run to get to the NCAA tournament for the first time since 1996. Thomas tries to spark that run. Zeno the putback, and maybe this gets the Privateers going.
Yeah, and this team embodies what that city is about in terms of their grit and ability to overcome arduous circumstances. But I tell you, it takes leadership like President Foss to be the key element in putting this team and this organization in terms of basketball program in a position to be successful.
$5 million budget for the athletic department as a whole. Mark Schlesinger said about his guys, "We don't know, we're not rich." They go out and they play hard. Like that, Eric Thomas drawing the foul.
Yeah, and a lot of people think that money is the only thing that can help you be successful. Every time they see a problem, they try to throw money at the problem, and that's simply not the case. Coach, as they say, Coach Schles proves that with the things that he talked about. They're at every class with guys.
Yeah.
They have dinners and breakfasts with guys. They don't eat steak and lobster every night, but they shower these guys with love, and the players give it back on the floor. And so, to your point and his point, they don't know how poor they are, but they're rich in love and resources in terms of what they give in human capital and energy.
Eric Thomas, 10 points. Meanwhile, Rashawn Thomas picked up foul number 2.
And Looks like New Orleans is going to try to speed up the action and/or get the ball out of Kilgore's hands with the extended soft trap, if you will.
Harassing defense from Thibodeau. And it's going to be out of bounds off Thibodeau. The Islanders will keep possession.
Yeah.
How important are these final 2 minutes to the outcome of this game?
Well, they're about momentum. Aside from the score, you've got a 5-point lead. Of course, you want to maintain that. But I think more importantly for me, going into the half, I just want the momentum going in my favor, because that's what basketball is. It's a game of momentum, and it can shift and swing in a matter of 1 or 2 plays.
Kilgore, stay hot.
Whoa, muy caliente.
The hometown kid setting it on fire.
Yes.
He is heating up.
He is heated up to a level. Again, I'll say it again, if they don't solve the Kilgore problem, it's going to be a very long night.
Thibodeau just got called for the travel, but here is that man, Joseph Kilgore.
Oh, how about the behind-the-back nice crossover? Like Thomas, if this young man gets to a spot, he typically makes the right play, be it a shot or a pass. Love his game, every part of it.
Averaging 11 points per game this season. Coer tries to save it.
Get on him. You better get on him.
Keeps it rolling. He said, call me up. You see that? And they don't need to call you up. This is your hometown right here.
Whoa.
11 points for Kilgore, matching his season average for a game in this first half.
And how about the poise, not even caught up in the moment, focused on getting it done and executing for this team. Thomas, give it to him. He's the man of the hour. You've got to allow him to finish out the half. He simply has control of the entire game from an offensive perspective right now for Texas A&M Corpus Christi.
32-23, A&M Corpus Christi trying to get that momentum going into the half. NCAA tournament bid on the line. Okay, okay. Logan Galindo here with Lance Blanks. Dial him up. Is that the sound phone makes these days? I don't know. That was trying to be my long distance impersonation, but Kilgore is dialing it up.
Yes, he is dialing it up. I mean, he's getting to his spots and knocking down shots at level. I mean, Corpus Christi only has 6 points in the paint as compared to New Orleans 18, and that's because of Kilgore. They are not, that being Corpus Christi, forcing the issue at the rim, whereas New Orleans is. And I think the fact that Corpus Christi is less one-dimensional, or I guess more two-dimensional, if you will, than New Orleans, is what's allowing them to control this game. They can produce offense from outside of the paint.
Shot clock turned off, 26.7. 32-23 lead for A&M Corpus Christi. And their second leading scorer, Ehab Amin, has been shut out.
Yeah, just an ISO 1-4 flat here and not bringing help. This is dangerous for New Orleans.
Kilgore wants it, gets it, but it's short. 3 seconds on the clock. Fry, the heave, gets it to drop. Nate Fry beating the buzzer, and momentum going the way of New Orleans. It turns quickly.
Yes, it does. That's big in a game like this. Why wouldn't you stop the ball? You can't just loosely run down. And the man of the hour, that being Kilgore, he's got to make a more serious effort than the one he made to finish this half. He was disappointed, rightfully so, in himself because he didn't stop the ball there. Fry made him pay.
New Orleans with momentum, but A&M Corpus Christi with the lead. They are 13-0 when leading at the half this season. Let's go to the studio to get you caught up. Tournament madness. We are in Katy, Texas for the Southland Conference Championship, the outskirts of the beautiful city of Houston. Joseph Kilgore from Decaney High School in H-Town. At one point, Lance Blanks, he was even calling up his friends and family and saying, check me out.
He should have been, because he had total control of this game. He said, dial him up, and he answered not only from beyond the arc, but in his pace in handling the ball and putting it in the right people's hands at the right time.
So it's about the star players getting support. Rashawn Thomas has Kilgore. He's got Cole Martinez with 9 points. Eric Thomas may need to pick up Kilgore's phone, call for some help, because he needs a running mate right now. What else does New Orleans need to do to close this gap?
Well, he needs a little bit of a system adjustment as well. If we looked at a shot chart, there would be 2 or 3 little sprinkles on the perimeter and a huge blot right under the rim, where Texas A&M Corpus Christi is doing a great job of not allowing them to finish around the rim. Even with a 10-1 offensive rebound lead by New Orleans, they're unable to capitalize on it, Lowell.
So New Orleans is still sticking with their game plan. The Islanders just aren't letting them have success.
Correct. They're doing what they do well, but not tonight, is what Texas A&M Corpus Christi is saying, not tonight.
Rashawn Thomas does have 2 fouls. Ehab Amin, second leading scorer for the Islanders, showed out in the first half. He's got 2 fouls as well. Mentioned the stat about A&M Corpus Christi, success when leading at the half, 13-0 this season. On the flip side of that, New Orleans 2-9 this season when trailing going into the second half.
Well, I tell you what, they've got an uphill battle that is New Orleans, simply because of what they're doing offensively. They've got to figure out a way to generate some offense beyond getting layups, and secondly, beyond the three-point line, because they're struggling there. That means they've got to try to pick up the pace and potentially get some easy looks on runouts or fast break points.
Don't count the Privateers out yet. If you said that they would even be in this championship game, you're either a die-hard New Orleans fan or you're a liar, because they were picked number 9 in the preseason poll by the Southland Conference coaches, and here they are going toe-to-toe with the 2 seed Texas A&M Corpus Christi winner, automatically into the NCAA tournament. Privateers know they're going to the postseason. They won the regular season title. That means they're at least locked into the NIT.
Yeah, and Commissioner Tom Burnett has got to be extremely happy. We talked to him a little bit before the game about this showcase of these 2 teams, 1 and 2. And, you know, you almost can't lose the great story of New Orleans. Of course, you can't bring them up without mentioning Katrina and what they've been through in terms of difficulty, being displaced at Texas A&M several years ago and then bouncing back potentially D2. And now they're on the brink of getting to the NCAA tournament. And then, of course, A&M Corpus Christi, they're a great story as well, with Coach Wilson and his first opportunity to take a team to the dance as a head coach.
Thomas backing down Poe, second chance, rattles in. 9 points for Rashawn Thomas. Thomas, the leader this season in scoring and rebounding in the Southland Conference.
Yeah, and you've got to bring a double team early just because he's so good around the rim.
Thibodeau dumps it off.
Thomas using his length against Pope.
Kilgore backing down Thibodeau. Size mismatch there, but Kilgore went right at him.
Yeah, you can't allow Poe to have to guard Thomas single-handedly. He's long enough on the perimeter, that is Poe, but around the rim, he's just got a girth and weight advantage that he knows how to use.
Coach Wilson says that Rashawn Thomas is playing free. The pressure is off his shoulders. He is letting it go, and he's coming out giving his Islanders a 35-28 lead. Second straight year in the Southland Conference Championship game for Texas A&M Corpus Christi. They got steamrolled by Stephen F. Austin a year ago. But in fairness, the Jacks were doing that to everybody. They win this one 82-60, but now Brad Underwood, head coach at Oklahoma State, done a fabulous job. That man, Thomas Walkup, he's done with eligibility. And last night, Willis Wilson and this Islanders team, they got some revenge, knocking Stephen F. Austin out of the tournament with a 77-69 victory. An impressive job for Wilson, considering he lost 4 starters off that team that made the championship game last season.
Yeah, to come back and be in this situation again and regroup mentally and physically and emotionally. And that was something that we talked about. Coach was just so proud of this group with the things that they've endured. And a lot of the fans don't get to experience what a team goes through in terms of personally, professionally, the coaches, you're away from families, you deal with so many difficulties, and it affects the floor. It doesn't happen on the basketball court, but a lot of those things affect it, and this team has been able to overcome so much and put themselves in a position to advance to the NCAA tournament.
And it's been a long maturation process for his star, Rashawn Thomas, all-time program leader in points, rebounds, block shots, double-doubles. That list goes on and on and on.
Yeah, and something that doesn't show up in the statistics is maturity. I mean, he's gotten more mature, and you're seeing that, the results of that maturity right now.
Champ Week continues Sunday on ESPN2 with 2 more championship games starting at noon with the first ever Ivy League championship. Yale, Princeton from the Palestra. Then at 2 Eastern, 6 seed Troy faces 4 seed Texas State for the Sun Belt title. Both games streaming live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN. We were looking at that Texas State win over UT Arlington. A little bit of a shocker for us because we've seen UTA in Austin the past couple of years. We thought that was a team that may have a March run in them. Yeah,
now the Horns fans, I'm sure don't want to see them anymore. They're a very good team that you would have thought would have a chance to be in the tournament.
Kristavius Gill, the long heave, and we got a 6-point ball game.
Well, that's what he does. He plays the passing lanes and shoots threes. Had big ones in the semifinal game. You don't want to let that young man get it going. You've got to find him on the perimeter.
Islanders wanted to travel on Tevin Broyles, did not get the call. Gill, open lane, drops it in. Back-to-back buckets for Kristavius Gill. It's a 4-point game. Late in the half, the Privateers got it within 5. Islanders went on a run.
Yeah, and I think the basket, the 3 that Gill made is what opened up the opportunity to get inside. They can get more threes like that potentially will create space and allow them to get the baskets around the bucket.
I can only imagine who Kilgore would have called there if he would have beat the buzzer with that deep 3.
Yeah, well, that was a heat check without a reference point. Usually you've got a reference point of 1 or 2 you've made before.
Clock was winding down, but had more time than that. Gill on the mean. Broyles, awkward pull up, but gets it to drop, and here come the Privateers. 7-zip run. We got a 2-point ball game.
Well, this is what they needed to do. Get baskets that were not at point-blank range. 2 of the last 3 have been just that. Nice find out of the double team. New Orleans has figured out can't allow Thomas to have the ball around the basket without double teaming him. Live with that result.
Thibodeau tried to save it, stepped out of bounds as Gill was trying to give the Privateers the lead. But it's because of Gill that New Orleans is back in this game. The deep 3 ball, then the drive to the bucket. New Orleans starting to feel good. Top 2 seeds in the Southland fighting for a spot in the NCAA tournament. Only one will go. A&M Corpus Christi, the 2-point lead. Logan Lindo lands blanks Here's a team you think should be in as an at-large, because remember, Illinois State lost to Wichita State in the tournament final for the Missouri Valley.
Yeah, I don't think it's fair. I mean, I think 27-6, 17-1 in conference. I mean, you can't help that you're in the conference you're in. There are a lot of teams in this situation year in and year out that end up on the outside.
Not everybody can make it, my man, Lance Blake.
I agree, but you can't have a season that good and have to watch everyone else make it to the tournament.
Since when did fair matter?
Fair, it's America, and we're a fair country. We do things fairly, and that one is not fair. I mean, it happened last year. You have Fresno State play San Diego State in their conference final. Fresno State goes, San Diego State doesn't, but they had an excellent record and actually won the conference.
Kilgore, the response, he's got 13.
You're going to ignore me. Okay.
I was just calling the action.
The action? This is tournament time. What do you mean the action? We can talk about two things at once. We can talk about the Redbirds not getting in the tournament possibly, as well as the game.
Privateers know there's one way to get in, and it's to keep battling. Tevin Broyles.
What, did he try to throw that off to someone's back like last night? He did it again. They had to watch tape. The same thing happened last night, and he actually inadvertently it skidded off of the back of Thomas, and he still got it and was able to get the foul and lay it in.
Three-point play. Rashawn Thomas now with 3 fouls. Unbelievable story. The seniors for New Orleans. Broyles, Fry, Gill, Thomas. New Orleans, for all 4 of those players, was the only D1 offer. And here they are, down by 1, with an NCAA tournament bid on the line.
You love the storylines of both of these coaches and the players they were able to go get. Guys like Thomas, who's just done a marvelous job, didn't have a lot of people after him at the D1 level, and then he ends up being the player of the year in the Southland. And then, of course, on the other side, you have the other Thomas, Rashawn, who from Oklahoma has just done a remarkable job at A&M Corpus Christi.
Tough angle for Amin, still scoreless. Fry loses the handle, but we got a foul.
And I think you got to watch Amin for Texas A&M Corpus Christi, because as the game goes on, he's one of these guys where both coaches are got to be a little concerned.
He struggled last night too.
He can get hot, but he also likes to press the envelope, as we saw there with the ill-advised drive to the basket. You love the energy, you love the execution and the effort and aggression in a game like this, but sometimes you need decisions that work for you, and sometimes that aggression can work against you.
Uncharacteristic miss. Back-to-back free throws from Nate Fry. The leading free throw shooter on this Privateers team had a chance to give New Orleans the lead. Martinez staying perfect from distance. He's got 12, 4 of 4 from three-point range.
Well, and there's an example of the running mates. You were talking about helping out Thomas. If this game were to end now, that would be the difference. The Texas A&M able to shoot with great execution from beyond the arc.
He's 8 of 10 from 3 here in Katy, Texas. Great find from Thibodeau, the leading assist man, to Michael Zeno from Beaumont, Texas.
The textbook New Orleans basketball. They love to get stuff at the rim.
Charge call on Kilgore.
Boy, the game is that close.
The officials had to look at each other.
Yeah, Brent Moe held it for a second. They weren't sure. Here you'll see Fry gets set.
What do you think?
Well, you know what I think? I think that's a no call. I don't think it was a block, and I don't think it was a charge. And unfortunately, officials feel like if there is a collision near or at the rim, that you have to call it either way. I think there are times that you just let them play.
This is one of those moments.
Absolutely. It was too close to call, in my opinion.
Royals.
What do you call now?
Well, they got a mean on the foul. Now they got a charge here. Amin picks up that charge.
Yeah, we'll see here on the replay. I'm not so sure Amin had stopped there. I mean, again, it's a very similar call. You know, I think that's something.
So now it's a wash. But Broyles has 3 fouls.
Are you accusing someone of a makeup call?
I did not say that, but
not
since
the
you did.
Stuff on your face either.
No makeup tonight.
No makeup. You don't need makeup ever. Ever.
Do not inflate the ego. So Tevin Broyles on the bench with 3 fouls. Drying up the court as bodies now hitting the hardwood at a heightened pace. It's tournament time, Lance Blanks.
Yes, it is, and it's chess match time for both of these coaches. I think we got a shot clock malfunction here.
And we're back. Amin still scoreless.
If you're in New Orleans, you have got to keep an eye on Martinez.
Heads up defensive play from Gill. Swats that away from Kareem South. But the Islanders will keep possession.
We got a late shot clock here with only 7 seconds. Let's see if the Islanders recognize it.
Another deflection. A&M Corpus Christi keeps again. 6 seconds on that shot clock. Does Thomas recognize?
And now you've got to get it up. This is excellent defense. This possession here for New Orleans, this defensive possession could loom large. I mean, they've tipped the ball enough times to create a 2-second shot clock.
And Kilgore loses it. So after 3 deflections and A&M Corpus Christi got back, the unforced error gives the ball to the Privateers.
Yeah, and it won't show up in the box score, but that was excellent defensive execution by New Orleans, and you could just see the focus waning with Texas A&M Corpus Christi as that possession kept going on. It was like a batter hitting a bunch of foul balls.
I say unforced, but when you get the ball with 2 on the clock, it's a little different. Some pressure there. And we have a tie ball game. Zeno knocks it up at 42. Kilgore through the lane. Thibodeau pulls down the rebound.
Kilgore still able to get off the screen. So Zeno was trying to push him away from the screen. He's creative enough with the ball to go where he wants to go on the floor.
A&M Corpus Christi with the rock, but that 10-point lead for the Islanders has evaporated. It's gone after Zeno puts that one down. We're tied up at 42.
Second half, and I'm trying to make a comeback. About to make history, how we done that? On the court, you know I'm trouble. Last week, messed around and got a triple-double. Can't stand, son. Act bad, and I had to get an and one. When we show up to the stadium and the fans come, once you throw it to me, you know I got a slam
Welcome back to the Southland Conference Championship game. Mark Schlesinger's daughter, she's already got her dancing shoes on. How much does Coach Schles love the city of New Orleans? His daughter, her name is spelled N-O-L-A, Nola. Met his wife right there in the city of New Orleans. That is the place they love to call home.
Yeah, what a great city. You spent time in New Orleans, I hope.
A little bit of time, yes. I've behaved myself every time down there.
It's hard to do. It's hard not to eat there, I'll tell you that much.
That's a good point. NCAA tournament bid on the line. A 10-point lead has disappeared for the Islanders. Amin, still scoreless. Offensive rebound as South nearly threw that one away.
Excellent job reloading, regrouping.
Amin tries to save it. One to no one in particular. Gill corrals it. Finally, though, some help for the Conference Player of the Year, Eric Thomas, here in the second half, as Tevin Broyles, Kristavius Gill, and Michael Zeno have all picked up the production. There's Zeno again. Cannot get it to drop. And it's going to be Islanders basketball.
Yeah, and New Orleans is so aggressive on the boards. You can get fouls such as that. And what I mean by that is when you have to help defensively, because you're going to have to help against New Orleans, you got to help the helper and sink from the outside down low and force them to come over the back for rebounds.
Soccer skills there from Michael Zeno. Thomas rips. Gill rips it away. New Orleans takes the lead.
He got up at the court in a blur. Inadvertent turnover. That was good defense. Thomas got to do a better job of valuing the ball in that situation.
First lead for New Orleans since the 12:57 mark in the first half. Martinez kicks to Kilgore. And he traveled.
Well, you're not even getting looks at the basket. A critical point in the game. And see here, Thomas is committed to going. With that kind of speed, that's just deadly because, you know, when you ISO Thomas at the top, you certainly don't have any floor balance in the event that you have a steal such as the one that Gill just got.
Champ Week continues on ESPN Sunday. Got two more championship games. SEC title game, 1 Eastern in Nashville. Arkansas and Kentucky. Then at 3:15 Eastern, the Frontier Communications American Championship game, Cincinnati, SMU, both games also streaming live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN. But the reign from Stephen F. Austin came to a close a night ago. It will not be 4 straight conference crowns and trips to the tournament for the Jacks after Texas A&M Corpus Christi took them down in what was a rematch of last year's championship game. Inside feed. Thibodeau, strong.
Well, and that's an example of sinking and helping. You've got to help the weak side because these guys double. When you double and help the defender, the small has to sink to the other side and box out. Otherwise, it's going to be poster time. Thibodeau, one of the best leapers in the conference. I mean, he tries to dunk everything around the rim and can finish with the best of them.
That black blot you were talking about in the paint is expanding for New Orleans.
Yeah, and that blot is, they're getting higher percentages now, I think, because early on in the second half, they were able to finish from outside on the perimeter.
Thomas, the rebuttal. It's a 2-point game. And Rashawn Thomas continues to rack up the points. finish and follow by Zeno.
Zeno on an excellent rebound and finish. They're just so active on the offensive boards. 12-1.
Wow.
Yeah. How about that stat?
I like it. You'll love it. You're pulling for the Privateers, and right now they're pulling momentum their way. Look at Michael Zeno. He is going nuts, trying to get the New Orleans faithful fired up. You see, Rashawn Thomas is trying to get some of that momentum back to the Islanders.
Yeah, and this gives them a taste of their own medicine. But Zeno, you've got to put a body on him and wedge him out of there. He's just so active and plays with such energy around the rim.
14 turnovers now for Texas A&M Corpus Christi. This is normally what they do to the opposition. One of the best teams in all of college basketball and forcing turnovers.
Yeah, and I don't think it's necessarily pressure as much as it's been about carelessness on A&M Corpus Christi's part.
Thibodeau stopping Thomas. Kilgore pulls it up and knocks it down. 2-point game.
Well, he's so good in the 12 to 15-foot range, as is Thomas. Just a nice, soft touch.
Kilgore rolled out of bed and was ready for this one. Probably at 7 a.m. Thomas tries to rip it away, but it will stay with the Privateers. Joseph Kilgore continues to keep the Islanders right there. Privateers making their run, but Kilgore keeping the Islanders within striking distance.
Welcome back to Houston, Texas, where Zeno has taken over under the basket, doing what he does well, playing with a ton of energy. Corpus Christi unable to keep him off the boards. This young man is possessed in this second half. He's got 9 points tonight, but his impact looms large because New Orleans was behind and needed energy. Thomas needed a mate, as my mate Lowell said, to help him with this game. New Orleans has been able to take control of it because of Zeno's ability around the basket.
12-4 run for the Privateers to take the lead. Michael Zeno with 6 of those 12 points. Keep in mind, he did not score in that overtime thrilling win for New Orleans against A&M Corpus Christi. Shot clock goes off and it's a violation. What happened on that possession?
Coach's nightmare. They never got into what they were trying to get in because of the pressure applied by Texas A&M. They forced the pass out to Michael Zeno. And coach's nightmare because you've got a timeout. You've got almost 2 minutes, give or take, to put together a play, and your team doesn't execute it. Extremely disappointing.
Amin with authority to get his first bucket of the game.
Boy, he attacked that layup. Keep an eye on Amin because he's been quiet all night long, and aggressive play is what he does. You don't want to give him anything to give him confidence because he can be the third wheel, if you will, the third piece to this Texas A&M offense. Thomas
setting up his teammates. Gill, that was from Houston. Thomas, offensive board. The dominance on the offensive glass continues. It's tournament basketball. Everybody's getting down for this. And it's a travel call.
Yeah, I wasn't sure he knew what he was going to call there. But Thomas on the rebound, he tried to put it on the floor. Can't put it on the floor in traffic. Watch this cut. Look at the speed at which he dove to the rim.
Wow.
Really negated all of that length in there. Poe couldn't even get off the ground in time before he was at the rim laying it up. That was all about effort and energy and a committed drive to the rim.
So we have Kristavius Gill from Alexandria, Louisiana on the court, and Ehab Amin from Alexandria, Egypt on the court. Started playing internationally when he was 12 years old.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that attracted Coach Wilson to, I mean, is when he played in Egypt, he played for the national team, and a lot of teams lost interest in him because he wasn't playing up to his ability. And Coach Wilson said it's because he was coming back from a broken back, was in a body cast literally approximately a year, and they just stayed with it and have reaped huge benefits from this young man. Speaking of benefits, you better find him, because Martinez has been stroking it well from beyond the arc.
Perfect 4 of 4.
Firing daggers, late clock here.
South, the floater, gets it to drop.
With the nice lefty.
Islanders with the 2-point lead.
Boy, a different result than from earlier in this half when they couldn't get it in on the inbounds. They really fought hard to get back into this game and take control and get a lead.
And we got intensity building now with every possession. 6-0 run in response for A&M Corpus Christi. The kick to Gill with confidence. Got it.
Well, Gill is about the only hope from beyond the arc. He and Fry, the nice execution there with no hesitation.
Trading blows with the tourney bid on the line. And he, Christavius Gill, wearing number 5 in the white, has been enormous for the Privateers in the second half.
Yeah, and then credit that to Kilgore, just like the one at the end of the first half. Lost contact with the shooter. You've got to know where people are. Thomas had him locked up at the free throw line. There was no need to not already be out on the perimeter.
Poe picked up foul number 4. He's now on the bench as Kareem South from Toronto gives the Islanders the lead. He's got 10. You thought it was tough to scout talent in the NBA as a former GM? Hey, how about going to Canada, finding guys from Egypt, finding guys that no one else wanted? That is how these teams, New Orleans and A&M Corpus Christi, were built.
Yeah, and they play with that chip on them, either team and players.
Thomas, aggressive. As Zeno is looking for the putback.
Well, we talked about Michael Zeno and his energy around the basket. You've got to attach to him and stay with him. Thomas there not boxing out anyone.
Amin picks up foul number 3. Zeno, the high archer. No good.
Martinez back on the floor. Coach Wilson, we talked about a chess match, opting for offense, defense right now with he and Jake Coacher.
Zeno, for as good as he's been from the field in the second half, misses both. And Willis Wilson and his Islanders trying to hold on to this 1-point lead. Amin with 3 on the clock. Too strong. A rebound pulled down by the Southland Conference Player of the Year, Eric Thomas.
Very good defensive possession there for New Orleans, forcing the long 3 with a late shot clock. Definitely want to keep yourself between your man and the basket at this stage of the game. You don't want to give anything easy.
Thomas didn't have to leave his feet. Back-to-back blocks from Rashawn Thomas. Southland Conference title on the line. Winner to the big dance. It's A&M Corpus Christi by 1. Logan Galindo here with Lance Blanks from Katy, Texas. It is the Southland Conference Championship game the 2 seed Texas A&M Corpus Christi with a 1-point lead over the 1 seed New Orleans. 3 timeouts left for the New Orleans Privateers. Foul situation. Privateers with 7, Islanders with 6. 3:52 left to play. Champ Week continues Sunday on ESPN2 with 2 more championship games, starting at noon with the first ever Ivy League championship game. 3 seed Yale, 1 seed Princeton from the Palestra. Then at 2 Eastern, you got Troy and Texas State. One of those looking for the surprise title and the Sun Belt Conference Championship game. Both games also streaming live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN. Lance, what do you think? 3:52 left to play. The 2 seed with a 1-point lead.
I think these free throws are huge because this young man, Thomas, hasn't scored in this half. Gives him a chance to gain a little bit of confidence and watch the ball go through the basket with only 3:52 to go in the game. Also, you got to watch the fouls. That was something that Coach Wilson talked about. 15-8 in that category, with New Orleans having the 15, and it's because of the constant pounding of the ball and offensive rebounds around the basket. Where Texas A&M Corpus Christi has had to foul them of late.
So New Orleans takes a lead back on free throws from Eric Thomas. And right back at you. Foul called on the Privateers.
Yeah, and it's about decision making. Thomas, the best player in the conference, with a man who's guarded already by 2 people, 3:32 left in the game, and you foul him 17 feet away from the basket. Not the best decision. You like the aggression, but if you're going to be that aggressive, you've got to make good decisions here down the stretch.
Islanders trying to get in the dance for the first time since 07, New Orleans. First time since 1996. 1-1 here from Thomas, 72% free throw shooter. Tied at 53, 14 points for the leading scorer in the Southland Conference. How big do you think this factors in with Thomas and Thomas, the 2 best players in the conference down the stretch here?
Well, it's extremely important to have them both engaged and on the floor at this time of the game. You wouldn't not do that. But they've also had great supporting cast tonight in terms of those guys executing plays, getting rebounds. Everyone has had a hand in this game thus far on either side in terms of minutes and what they've done.
3 on the clock. Gill beats the clock, gets the corner of the rim. 3 minutes left. Tournament bid on the line in Katy, Texas.
Yeah, and here's an example. Kilgore has been a key. South, I mean, all these guys have supported Thomas in terms of helping them secure this lead thus far in a tightly fought game.
It's been a fun watch. Rashawn pulls up, draws the foul.
Whoa. Quite beneficial call there.
You don't think Thibodeau got him?
I'm not
Thibodeau
sure.
doesn't think he got him.
Either way, you don't want to foul a guy falling away. Again, putting him on the line. Let's see here. I don't know. That was a little too close for me to call.
And the Stars get the calls, though, right?
Yeah, they do. But also the ball don't lie.
Where's Rasheed Wallace when you need him? So Thomas hit both last time up to give the Islanders the lead, trying to pad it. And it's a 2-point game, 16 for Rashawn Thomas. Where do you go right here if you're New Orleans? Need a bucket.
Well, you got to go through your best player, Thomas.
And there he is. Okay. And it works.
Of course.
Funny how that works out.
And it's right on the block, meaning right around the basket. Remember those 2 free throws a few minutes ago?
Oh, yeah.
He got to see it go through the basket. Now he's putting it in the basket in context.
Thomas and Thomas, 2 best players in the Southland. could determine who wins the tournament title. 2 minutes left in the Southland Conference Championship game. Thomas with the full head of steam.
Thomas and Thomas is what this game is turning into. They are committed to get that ball to Rashawn Thomas there. And it looks like New Orleans is about to do the same thing on the little pin down. They'll do a cross screen and look where they're trying to throw it.
Rashawn
Smith
got the bucket for the Islanders. Here comes Eric. The feed to Zeno, and Zeno is fouled.
Yeah, again, help the helper. Been talking about it all night long. Here's to Eric Thomas, the nice seal. And then Rashawn gets it isolated at the top.
Moments ago, Zeno missed 2 at the charity stripe. Ten points for the junior from Beaumont.
Yeah, and Zeno is there because the defense didn't help. But I tell you what this stoppage of play and foul does, it allows Coach Wilson to get Martinez on the floor. He's been running offense-defense for quite a while with Jake
Eric White, offensive rebound, and the timeout called. Heady play by the senior from Wesley Chapel, Florida. Eric Thomas showing why he is the Southland Conference Player of the Year.
Well, what do great players do, Lowell? They make great plays. And the one thing you gotta love about Eric Thomas is he doesn't allow his offense to leak into other parts of his game. He can impact the game in multiple ways. Just showed you there, coming up with the offensive rebound on the missed free throw.
So you've got Rashawn Thomas and Eric Thomas. Tight battle for Conference Player of the Year. At one point in time, Eric Thomas on the right was trying to chase Rashawn Thomas for the conference scoring title. His coach, Mark Schlesinger, pulled him aside and said, son, do you want to chase the scoring title or do you want to win a championship? Because you cannot do both. Eric Thomas decided to give up that run for a scoring title to put his effort and focus on winning the Southland Conference Tournament. They got the regular season title. A win tonight puts him in the NCAAs for the first time since '96. A loss, and they're still locked into the NIT. 1:15 left from Katy, Texas. The leave. And the finish from Broyles. Everybody else went right by him, and the Privateers with the lead.
Yeah, out of the timeout, was there any doubt where they were going with that? Broyles doing a nice job of taking his time and finishing right at the rim.
Kilgore got in trouble. Thomas bails him out, and he's fouled. Thibodeau fouls Rashawn Thomas. It looks like a three-point attempt.
Yeah, I think it was a three, and we talk about decisions. Thibodeau, the refs tipped their hand in the last possession where he guarded him on the perimeter. He does almost the exact thing. Hits him in the face. It's a Groundhog Day possession for Thibodeau. He's disappointed, should be disappointed in himself. Can't put the hand that close to the face.
Costly foul picked up by Trayvon Thibodeau. That's clear, right, Lance?
Yeah, it's clear. You've got to call that. You almost gave up a 4-point play.
20 points from the Southland Conference leading score, and it's a 2-point lead.
I mean, you get
Checking a 1-point lead for A&M Corpus Christi.
Yeah, and then Coach Wilson gets Amin back on the floor. I mean, that mistake just compounds.
We got a timeout called by New Orleans coach Mark Schlesinger. 51 seconds separating you from the NCAA tournament. What do you think these guys are feeling right now?
Well, they're not feeling too much pressure because they want this. No.
Thomas on the line?
No.
With the game on the line?
I didn't see that rim touch, and those free throws look clean to me. Right now, it's a chess match with both coaches. You see the multiple rotations with different guys coming in and out of the game. It's about having the ball play through your best players right now, and both coaches know that.
So Rashawn Thomas, he's been going one-on-one with Thibodeau. He's winning the matchup with a little help.
Here's the first foul, and it's just too close not to call. But young folks, you got to learn at home. You can't create the same or commit the same mistake one after the other.
Thomas hits all three.
Let alone against the best or one of the best players on the floor.
He's got 8 straight points for the Islanders. 2-point game, 43 seconds left to play.
Yeah, the Islanders have their best defensive crew on the floor right now. With the switch.
No bucket. Foul on the floor.
Boy, this could prove to be an excellent foul, and here's why, Lo. You're down.
It's the best free throw shooter on the team.
Okay, right, but you're down 2, as in New Orleans. If they make both of these, now Texas A&M has the ball, and there's only a 3.9 differential, so they can get a late shot clock shot and potentially get the rebound and or score with not a lot of time left for New Orleans to have a chance to score on the other end.
If OT is a possibility again, like it was December 31st in the first matchup between these two teams, keep this in mind. Ehab Amin down with 4 fouls. But the most pressing order of business, Nate Fry at the free throw line. Got the first. You can tell Thibodeau is thinking about those fouls.
Yeah, that's what you call losing it at the wrong time.
Fry has his teammates back.
One of the key elements at this time of the game is poise.
.30 seconds left. NCAA tournament on the line.
Well, this ball, I can guarantee you, Thomas will be involved in this some way.
Timeout, Willis Wilson. Chess match continues. For those of you who are looking for the Big West Championship between UC Davis and UC Irvine, it is currently airing on ESPN News. We will join that game following this, the Southland Conference Championship game from Katy, Texas. Lo Galindo here with former NBA General Manager Lance Blanks. New Orleans, picked to finish 9th by the conference coaches in the preseason poll, have won the regular season title. Even with the loss tonight, they're going to the NIT. But Lance, big picture here, they're focusing on the NCAA. They have not been to the NCAA tournament since 1996. On the other side of this, you have Willis Wilson, head coach of A&M Corpus Christi. Never been to the dance as a head coach.
No, and both of these teams are deserving. This is making a case for my argument. Why should one of these teams not be playing in the postseason? These are very good basketball teams. And you talk about New Orleans, I mean, they have history with Coach Tim Floyd, who's now at UTEP. Liddell Echols, some great players. Of course, Ronnie Arrow was at Corpus Christi A&M. So this is a great game in a great conference, and you hate to see one of these ball clubs lose.
Rashawn Thomas has been the guy down the stretch, scored the last 8 for A&M Corpus Christi. 19 seconds left. Is that who you're looking for here?
Absolutely. If I'm going to win or lose, I'm going to do it with my best player involved. It doesn't mean he's going to necessarily take the shot, but he's certainly going to be involved in the play.
Martinez does not get the roll. And with 0.8 of a second left, we have a stoppage. by New Orleans. Going to take a moment to see how much time remains on the clock. What did you think about this look?
Well, I thought it was not a bad option there for Thomas to pass it out to Martinez. I personally would have preferred if Thomas took the shot simply because he's the best player on A&M Corpus Christi's team.
Martinez has been hot. First miss for Martinez on this championship night, the Southland Conference. He has been an X factor. Most of that work came early, but that was in the first half when this Islanders team was able to stretch out a lead. At one point, it was 10 points. And Martinez was the catalyst behind that. Second half, though, it has been Rashawn Thomas's game.
Yeah, and you see the pass there. Let's see what we got on the clock here. 2.3.
So Poe gets the rebound.
And I don't see anyone looking to call the timeout. There's no one. Okay.
Right here you got Gill with about 1.8 calling for the timeout. But when is it granted?
To the ref.
Looks like it's granted with about a second left on the clock. So regardless, you're looking between 8/10 and 1.5 seconds left. What do you do?
Well, you've got to run a screen of some sort to get someone open and get a decent look. If they throw it the length of the court, you don't have enough time to catch and turn. You've likely got to get a clean look here in the backcourt.
1.2. Hey, about that pressure, Coach Schlesinger, not a big deal.
With the legs crossed. How about that?
Act like you've been there before.
Absolutely. If they throw long, you've got to break it up.
Kilgore picks it off. He keeps it up. Hey, you got anything to do?
Yes, stay right here is what I have to do. This game had the smell of overtime.
We tried to tell the people to get ready. This is what happened on December 31st. You see the heave picked off by Kilgore.
See, if it's me, I'd throw the ball right in this area and get a look.
They played twice. Both times, A&M Corpus Christi and New Orleans going to OT. This time, a title's on the line. Southland Conference Championship game, overtime, presented by Continental Tire. First time this championship game has gone to overtime since 2003. Win like this, it was 1 versus 2 with Sam Houston State, the 1 seed, taking down 2 seed Stephen F. Austin, 69-66. We know from talking to Willis Wilson, conditioning fatigue a concern for his Islanders team. They're not deep. They played a lot of basketball. Did not even have their shoot around this morning because they want to stay as fresh as they can. Is that a factor here at OT?
I think it could be a factor that they didn't show up at shoot around in a positive way because they saved their legs. They didn't get out of here last night until after 10:30 or so. By the time you get home, decompress, just didn't make sense. So hats off to Coach Wilson for recognizing the importance of rest. It's called knowing your team and being a veteran at this. Fatigue, to me, goes out of the window at this point. These guys are young.
You can taste it here.
Yeah. Are you kidding? I mean, you got 5 minutes to go to the big dance. Fatigue, to me, is a non-issue at this point.
Second matchup of the season. The first was December 31st in New Orleans. That game also went to OT. Good hands, Lance Blanks.
Boy.
That game went to OT. New Orleans won despite 25 turnovers. And that snapped a 5-game losing streak in the series against A&M Corpus Christi. Privateers hitting 57% from the field in the second half.
And by having Martinez in the lineup here, Coach Wilson opting to go for his best offensive group on the floor.
Nate Fry starts the scoring here in OT. Fry was the guy that had 6 in OT, and the New Orleans win on December 31st.
Yeah, and he's so strong and low to the ground. He gets to his spots. He can just raise up and knock the shot down.
Martinez got this one. He's only missed once. 15 points. points all via the long ball.
Who's the best shooter in the gym?
Tonight it's Martinez.
Boy, good decision by Coach Wilson, opting to go with Martinez's offense.
He has been electric from distance here in Katy.
Yeah, and he's getting these looks because New Orleans is not guarding him early. You've got to guard him early if you want to put those threes to a halt.
Go Martinez. Pure from the outside.
Yes, he is. All of those look good. Clearly not affected by that last shot that he had at the end of regulation.
Averages 7 points per game on the season. Last night against Stephen F. Austin, had 16 points. And in this game, he's got 15. Thibodeau, we saw him rattled at the end of regulation. Picked up a couple of crucial fouls that sent Rashawn Thomas to the line. Part of the reason we're here in overtime. You said he looked frustrated. He looked flustered. Does he look like he's got it back in control?
Yes, he does. He just knocked that free throw down pretty easily. It certainly looks like he's gotten it back together, which he'll need it down the stretch in this game.
Amin skids on the hardwood, keeps it alive to Kareem South. Kilgore's got it back with 10 on the clock.
Nice
on Thomas. Offensive foul. Poe draws it against Rashawn Thomas.
Yeah, Poe sold it, but Thomas didn't have to hook him. Here you see the hook with a little slight elbow here. Watch the hook. There it is. That was a good sales job there, a little Hollywood by Poe.
It's the second time you're calling out the Privateers for that.
I'm not so sure that flailing right arm was that powerful.
It's pivotal because now the top two players, first team all conference for the Islanders, now each with 4 fouls. Rashawn Thomas and Ehab Amin. Conference Player of the Year, Eric Thomas, 14 in white. Amin looking for the steal. Broyles spinning past Kilgore and somehow gets it past the outstretched arms of Rashawn Thomas. He's got 12.
Well, the nice finish. The help has to come earlier on Broyles. He did a great job of spinning and putting it in a place no one could get it.
What a finish on the bucket and to this game in general. South, the drive on Thomas. That shot effective. Kilgore cannot connect. And Tevin Broyles pulls down the rebound. Look at the spin cycle. With the all-time leading shot blocker in Islanders history coming quick.
Yeah, you would have hoped if you were on the defensive side of that great play that New Orleans made, someone from the weak side would have loaded the floor up. Good job by Broyles of recognizing there was no help. Spun and was able to finish.
Rattles that one home. New Orleans, the regular season champs in the Southland Conference. They were 10 and 20 a season ago, tied for 9th place in the conference. A remarkable turnaround by Mark Schlesinger. Dr. Peter Foss on hand. University president who may have single-handedly saved this program from dipping to D2 or D3. Thibodeau, no foul call that time. Good bounce back.
Yeah, and they got it in the hands of the right person. Thomas unable to finish. Right now, New Orleans has done an excellent job of taking control and command of this game.
Amin with the steal. Looking for the awkward finish. Amin, second nationally with 3.3 steals per game.
Well, he is relentless. Amin is about attacking you from a defensive perspective.
Offensive game not going his way. He did become the all-time leader in steals tonight for Texas A&M Corpus Christi. With only 2 points for a guy that's averaging 17 this season.
He's really struggled offensively, but again, doesn't affect his defense because he's going to go for just about anything in his area when it comes to stealing the ball or attempting to.
.90 seconds left. NCAA tournament in the balance. Amin looks for the steal. Broyles collects himself, and he draws the foul on Joseph Kilgore.
Yeah, he sold that. And I thought New Orleans was a little too passive. Thought Kilgore would have done himself a favor here. Just put the arms up and hold your position. We're not sure where that foul occurred, but certainly a benefit to New Orleans.
Concern for Willis Wilson keeping the Privateers off the line. One of the best in America in terms of getting to the line, and once they get there, they rarely miss.
Yeah, and the reason they get there so much is because they try to do so many things around the rim, and they're a very good offensive rebounding team, and they just pound it inside and keep coming at you.
Rashawn Thomas pulls it down, 3-point game with 1:15 left.
Huge misses, huge.
I jinxed him.
Yes, you did.
Rashawn Thomas. Tough angle, working on Thibodeau. Fry was there as well.
Well, these officials they're really heavily weighted to the offense. This is where Texas A&M likes to get the ball to Thomas in the middle of the floor. The help comes.
They got Nate Fry on that call, number 3.
Yeah, I'm not sure where the foul occurred.
You've said that a few times tonight.
But it pays big dividends to be extremely aggressive offensively.
22 points for Rashawn Thomas. Had 27 points last night.
Well, this game reminds me of a race that you've got to run all the way to the finish line, because either team is going to give up before the final buzzer.
Under 60 seconds left. Privateers trying to get to the tournament for the first time since '96. In the hands of Fry. 5 on the shot clock. Offensive rebound, Nate Fry.
Got a foul. That's a foul.
And Amin does with 25.8 left to play. It was a deep 3 from Christavius Gill. Not sure he recognized the shot clock was winding down. Ehab Amin has fouled out as the Islanders cannot wrap up that defensive possession. Even though there was a deep miss by that man, Broyles, the rebound, gets the foul. Tevin Broyles has had a ball game tonight with the conference championship on the line.
Yeah, and particularly in the second half Broyles has come up big with play after play.
But this is what he has not been able to do, the free throws. Now 4 of 8 from the line.
Well, if he should miss here, you have got to come up with the rebound if you're A&M Corpus Christi.
After 3 straight misses, Broyles gets that one to go. 25.8. New Orleans
Got to get in it
by
quick.
3. Timeout, Texas A&M Corpus Christi. 19.3. What are you looking for, Lance?
I'm looking for a quick basket, and I'm going through Thomas again, simply because he's my best player. If he goes aggressively, he likely gets the foul, and because they're in the double bonus, he'll get 2 shots. You've got to really play the clock here and try to extend this game as long as you can. A quick basket is more valuable than just taking a 3 right now, simply because you've got enough time to force New Orleans into a foul situation where you foul them, put them on the line, and potentially get the ball back.
Did not get the look Islanders wanted to get at the end of regulation with Cole Martinez off balance with a 3-point heave. For Willis Wilson, 21st year as a head coach, all-time winningest coach at Rice. He has never been to the NCAA tournament as a D1 head coach.
No, he hasn't, and I mean, you never know how often you're going to be in a position like the one that Coach Wilson is in. So your heart goes out to both of these coaches. To your point, risks that have been taken to go to different schools and all the commitment that's been put into your team over the course of a season. Coach Wilson never have been to the tournament as a D1 head coach. It's a lot on the line with only 19.3 seconds left to play.
This has been a conference championship dominated by Stephen F. Austin, but with Brad Underwood in Stillwater and Thomas Walkup out of eligibility, it now hangs in the balance between these 2 teams. The top 2 seeds in the Southland, number 1 New Orleans and number 2 A&M Corpus Christi.
Looks like they're going to look for a 3 here.
Zip pass to Thomas. Too strong. Put back. No good. And hold that thought. Hold that thought, says the officiating crew as New Orleans starts to celebrate.
I think they want to see if that ball was out of bounds with time left on the clock.
But you can see the emotions already starting to flow for the Privateers from New Orleans. The final look. What'd you think about the initial look that the Islanders got?
I thought they got a clean look and the right person. Clearly, they went for the tie and ran clock versus getting a quick basket.
So check out the clock. South misses. Eric Thomas is there.
Yeah, but who was the ball out on?
Well, and the time as well.
Well, it looks like it's out of bounds at .9. .9 is when it's out of bounds.
This is a huge call coming up here.
Yeah, with
9/10. That's some time for the Islanders to do some damage here.
Well, you can catch and shoot.
So 9/10. Whose ball? What a game.
That's the key, is whose ball. We still don't know.
As soon as we are done, we will go to the Big West Championship. Mark Schlesinger's daughter, Nola, named after the city of New Orleans. So close to taking Big Easy to the big dance. So it will be New Orleans basketball with 1/8 of a second left. Schlesinger wants a timeout, and it's granted. What are they talking about right here, Lance? Certainly the most pivotal inbound that New Orleans has had in decades.
Yeah, and you've got to get ball handlers in the game. Because watch for a potential charge, 5-second call. There are a lot of things that can happen, even though you only got 0.8 left in the game.
New Orleans picked 9th by the coaches in the Southland Conference preseason poll. Here they are on the cusp of winning it all. So the delay was to make sure there is the correct amount of time on the clock. 0.8 of a second left. The ball in the hands of the Conference Player of the Year, Eric Thomas.
They're going long. You can see it. It's going long.
And from the cusp of a demotion to D3 to D1's big dance, the New Orleans Privateers have commandeered the Southland Conference Championship.
Well, that's what it looks like. Agony in defeat. What a great game. Incredible effort by both teams. Went all the way down to the last possession, as you would expect, Lowell.
They nearly sent this program to D3 basketball, but now New Orleans in the NCAA tournament. That's all from Katy, Texas. Champ Week continues next as UC Davis takes on UC Irvine for the Big West Championship. Let's head out to the Honda Center in Anaheim.